In this episode we are trying to capture Bologna, Cagliari and Palermo as well, and at the same time our objective is to hold every region we control at the moment. Hello everyone and welcome to QualityOldGames. Today we are having part 6 of the Milanese Crossbow Only Challenge, and without further ado, let's prosecute this heretic and finish the turn. And it seems Prince Timarus of the Holy Roman Empire is charging us. Fortunately, they have quite a few cavalry units, and we have decent enough castle walls, so it might be the case that, well, there won't be at least too many breaches in this battle. However, I doubt that we can stop the enemies on the walls, so I think we need a battle plan. And of course one part of the plan is to hit the enemies hard when they come to the castle square, I guess. And then I think we should have some crossbows on the walls. However, here the space seems to be a bit limited. And as it's likely that the enemy will bring ballistas here first, I think we will make a killing squad that's tasked to hunt down the ballistas. And unfortunately, we cannot have those towers there manned before we get back inside the gates. And I think we should be a bit careful not to go too far, so that enemy infantry at least cannot run us down, even though enemy cavalry might do so. And it's imperative to get inside the castle walls soon enough after these guys have been beaten here. So I guess we will fire one additional volley on these, and then it's time to withdraw. It takes 3 men to fire ballista, or 2. So perhaps one additional volley. And then we shall withdraw. So let's leave one unit here. And let's bring one unit on that wall. They can support the battle in the city square. And I guess we should bring another unit there as well. And I think the gates are closed. Okay, excellent. And fortunately that's only town militia, and that's town militia 2, so nothing like those dismounted feudal knights or something like that. Even though these peasant crossbowmen are quite bad at melee, I think they have a fair chance of stopping this army, or rather this unit getting or gaining control of the walls. especially as we can whittle them down quite a bit as they are moving here. And of course, being able to hit those bodyguards would be just excellent. So, are you guys firing? I think you should be. And I think these guys here should be the primary target for this unit. And once again, that bodyguard is the most dangerous of enemy units here. Especially regarding the city center. Their charge can be devastating, really devastating. Infantry is so slow that their threat to the city center is somewhat limited. Okay, good. Those guys are broken. And those guys are taking beating there. And the enemy has lost 1/3 and they are not... Okay, now they are starting to break down the gate.
Saints, save us! The enemy are battering down the gates!
Okay, and that's actually burning. Nice. So perhaps these guys should focus on the bodyguard as well. And the gates won't hold for much longer, and I guess it would be wise to command these guys on the walls as well. And apparently that's not possible. And let's see if we can... Oh, perhaps pausing the game is not the right way to go, but let's try to hit those bodyguards at least once more still. And let's bring these guys. Okay. So that was quick. And now those bodyguards really should be the primary targets here. And we don't actually mind friendly fire in this case. We just need to stop them. And I guess these guys here actually could shoot the general in the back there.
We are blessed. The enemy general is dead. We have
Excellent.
to hell.
And now they are fleeing. Good. And it seems quite a few of the enemies are actually routing. That's good news for us. And let's bring these guys at least to somewhat safety. And then we have some town militias charging. I think that will be suicidal there. That's rather brutal. And then we have some armored sergeants. I think we can just speed up the things a bit. We will just slaughter the rest of the enemies here. So, they still have something, it seems. But what is a different question. Okay, so some town militias and some armored sergeants. So much for that. And I don't think those will last too much longer. And then there are those ballistas once again. Okay, so that's one Holy Roman Empire army gone. I guess 2 to go, at the very least.
The enemy flees the battle. Run down those worthless peasants.
Okay, so that's it. I would really like to have a new family member here, but I guess that's a bit too much to hope for. And the Holy Roman Empire is moving troops against us. I guess that Moorish army could go on with its jihad against Baghdad and stop pestering us. Okay, Thieves Guild. Interesting. And here I think we want to have that city watch, and then we want to raise taxes. And at the moment we don't have too much to make. And one more turn and this city should fall to us. And then we need to bring the fleet here. Okay, good. And we are ready to transport the army towards Palermo. And here I think we need to weather the assault of this army before moving against the Byzantines. And actually I think in Bern we need also to take care of the... Okay, good. And unfortunately we need to sack this because we want to have some money. Okay, so we have an Inquisitor in Ajaccio, close by. And let's retrain these guys as well. There. And finally we are having some financial opportunities to make something. And I think we need to improve the public order. Of course, it would be nice to have those ballista towers, but perhaps we need to wait a bit more for that. And here, well, when and if we have at some point more money, I think that mining network will be nice. And let's see about Cagliari, of course, a chapel, and unfortunately the city will require quite a lot of more defenses still. Okay, that was nice. It's always nice to sink some enemy ships. And I think next turn the army is ready to move out. And in Zagreb, no, we cannot have just yet those troops.
Yes, madam. These are the ice waters.
Let's try to get rid of that heretic. Easier said than done. But I think we have a turn.
My Sultan sends me with words. Is it something further for me to hear then? There is no way the Sultan would accept this. Oh, well, very well. Mazara.
Hopefully they will put some pressure on the Byzantine Empire. There seems to be a trade war going on. Boon for builders. And of course, he died in Cagliari. And we have a princess here. A different thing is whether she can do anything there. At least anything useful. And perhaps improved fields are in order in Cagliari. Okay, so Holy Roman Empire has been excommunicated. They are kind of free to capture or free to attack. And perhaps these troops are enough there. And I think we want to retrain at least some of the ships here before moving further. And let's see if we can actually bring some reinforcements to the army as well. Oh, so no authority whatsoever. Okay. Too bad. So it's likely that this army will go rebel at some point. So basically it means that we need to be hasty in capturing Palermo. Okay. So burn could be upgraded. Let's see if we have enough money for that. And I think our faction leader. Oh. So, I guess it's time to strengthen our spying network. Or otherwise we won't be having any family members soon. And perhaps we should send the army out towards Durazzo. And let's hope that our army will survive at least for now. So there are quite a lot of spies and assassins nearby. Especially Holy Roman ones. And now there is a third enemy army. And I guess this fleet will... Okay, it won't go down, but it was beaten nonetheless. And if we want to take Bologna, I think we should do it right away. And especially if we have capabilities for night battles. Or then perhaps we should try to take out the reinforcing enemy army first. And with some luck, Palermo could be ours right after this battle.
The enemy have brought up more men. They hope to make up in numbers what they lack in bravery.
And I think those Norman knights should be the primary target here. And not too many of them left, so it's time to focus on those rest of the enemy troops.
The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army. Only half the enemy force remains.
And we should take down these archers rather quickly, because we need to turn and face another enemy army rather soon. Perhaps one more shot. And we are facing here, fortunately, only infantry. So it's time to move out.
Flees the battle. Run down those worthless peasants.
And be wary of that second reinforcing enemy army, which of course is, let's put it in the way that they are the primary target. So in ideal situation we can take these guys down before we can focus on these guys. And here we want to take down especially the enemy faction leader. And about these guys, breaking them will be enough. And it seems we are able to fire direct fire, and that should break these guys quite fast. This seems like making a frontal charge against a machine gun emplacement. Okay, so first enemies there are on the range. Okay, good.
Our enemy has lost his stomach to fight. We must push our advantage.
And if those guys can start firing at the enemies there, that's good news. And if we can target the enemy bodyguard, that's more important still. So, some peasant archers, I guess that was some peasants and the bodyguard, and of course the bodyguard is the most dangerous one, so taking it down is the primary target here. And it seems the AI is twerping around a bit, that's good news for us. We can get some more shots off. And hopefully some direct fire now. Good. And where is the enemy king?
Only half the enemy force remain. The battle is in our favor.
And I guess we want to take down those peasants so that they cannot but we are trying to make sure that he doesn't leave. But perhaps that's a bit too much to ask for.
Praise the Almighty! Our enemy has lost his stomach to fight. We must push our advantage.
So, almost.
This is a clear victory.
Let's see if we have... Okay, good. And if we can attack that army there... But we cannot. But let's take these extra crossbows. And I think the army will be enough to take Palermo next turn, especially if that army cannot reinforce the settlement there. And there is some kind of heretic here as well. Oh, and of course I haven't made any siege equipment. So that's basically a mercenary army. Could we somehow stop it from joining the fight? Perhaps we could, and perhaps we could take down this enemy general. Okay. I think this is a battle which I'm not sure we want to take. But then again, if we don't beat these guys now, we may end up fighting an army twice again as big as this one. But then again, can I control this army as well? Let's play it safe. At least in Rome Total War, there are some issues with controlling the large armies. Okay, so Zagreb will be besieged by Venetians. And I don't think we have what it takes to engage that large of Byzantine force. Of course, that's infantry mostly, and so is that. So perhaps we will give it a try. Especially as we must be hasty because of the low authority of the king or dudes. And of course this is defensive battle, so
The enemy have brought up more men. They hope to make up
let's try to inflict as much casualties as we can before the real, or rather the reinforcing army arrives. And I think we should be able to inflict quite heavy damage on these guys. before the rest of the enemy army joins the fray. And I think the Byzantine infantry should be our primary target. They are the most dangerous foe of these. Especially since we have taken down more than half of their archer strength. Now the question is, should I turn on the skirmish mode, but I guess I will skip that. And I guess it's fire at will for everyone. Okay, that's the general's unit. That warrants an extra priority.
Only half the enemy force remains. The enemy general has no honor. He flees the field of battle and abandons his men.
And I think this enemy army shouldn't last too long anymore. And it's about time, since we need to face that another enemy army soon.
The course of this battle changes because defeat seems almost certain.
Well, that's a bit overly dramatic, in my opinion. But I think you guys should shoot on these charging you. Then there is General's bodyguard, which of course makes itself a priority target. So let's see how we will hold against the second wave of the enemies. Well, those ballistas are actually doing quite decent job at the moment. I'm a bit afraid that we will lose this battle, but at least we have inflicted quite heavy damage to the enemy.
I pray the course of this battle changes, because defeat seems almost certain. The enemy general has no honor. He flees the field of battle and abandons his men.
Perhaps one good volley here could break these guys. Excellent, and now let's break the general before our army breaks altogether. Let's see if we could kill him. Not too many bodyguards left, but what's left might be just enough. Okay. So I guess that's it. Let's hope they will break fast. But we actually managed to kill twice the number of enemies we lost. So actually I think the battle was decent enough. Oh, that's bad. And who died this time? Perhaps we will just keep up the siege there, retrain the troops here, get some new ones, and attack Durazzo once again. Here we have decent enough defenses. Let's see if they are enough to hold. And here perhaps we could block some of the enemy movements. There. And of course burn could be upgraded. And this Lerino Delicati seems to be rather useless. So one more turn. Let's see what happens. Okay, so much for that assassin. Oh, and I forgot to move this fleet. So much for that. And they are trying to break out, and it seems they have only one reinforcing army. Good. And I think Bologna should fall to us. And I guess the bodyguard once again should be the primary target there. And I guess these guys can just fire whatever they see fit. And it seems we need to prepare to face the reinforcing enemy army there.
The enemy are badly bloody. They have lost half their men.
So mailed knights and some other troops are moving surprisingly fast as well.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours. The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army. The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army.
I think those guys there should be quite tired. And perhaps some direct fire from the crossbows might be enough to at least make them think twice about charging us.
It is unwise to pray today for sunset, but our men are winning the battle.
Or perhaps we don't actually need to move these guys, since the fleeing enemies will head towards the city there, and these guys can get some free shots off.
The enemy general has no honor. He flees the field of battle and abandons his men. We are blessed. The enemy general is dead. We have sent the idiot to hell.
So, this is starting to... Oh,
The enemy are bad. The enemy general has no honor.
this is starting to look like a killing field.
Run down those worthless peasants.
So they have wave 2 incoming, it seems. But I guess they will go the same way as all the rest of the enemy troops there. Okay, so that should be all of the enemies from that direction. Time to reform a bit. This is a bit tedious waiting, since when some of the troops break here, others have reached the city center and are coming back. So we just have to have some patience and target practice. And it, okay, nice. That was a decent enough victory. And perhaps we can release them. And some extra money will be nice. No heavy infantry present, so I think we will man the walls and keep perhaps a couple of units in reserve in the city center. So the enemy is coming from this direction. Let's put our strongest men on the wall that's most likely to receive the charge from ladders, and let's keep the general and one additional unit in reserve here. I think this should work out rather well. And of course, the primary target here is the bodyguard, and then the mailed knights, and then the mounted sergeants. Those are peasants, nothing too much to worry about. And then there are some archers.
Our walls. It is time for butcher's work. Saints, save us! The enemy are battering down the gates! It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
At least the bodyguard is taking some damage.
The enemy's ram is through our gates.
I guess it's time to fire at will. I'm a bit worried about our city center holding.
God save us! The enemy have the walls! Look to our defense, or all will be lost! General has thrown his life away, and perhaps our chances of victory with it.
Okay. At least some of the enemies are starting to break.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Okay, perhaps these guys should focus on the peasant archers there.
To praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
But the city center is in trouble. And
Preserve us. We have lost half of our men.
I'm not certain we can actually pull back these troops without them becoming routed.
Our enemy has command of...
Perhaps this unit must be sent to aid in recapturing the city square. And are they moving bit by bit? Okay, so perhaps these guys should be sent as well. Okay, so the enemy cavalry is charging. I think we lost, but we did not actually need to lose. I doubt that we can rush in enough troops or fast enough to the city center. So let's try to inflict what damage we can, hopefully take down the enemy general. It's unfortunate that the battle ends this way after such a good battle we put up. Well, perhaps we couldn't have beaten them, but a stinging defeat nonetheless. And of course that means that we need to recapture Zagreb. Fortunately, the enemy doesn't have too much forces as a garrison there now, but nonetheless, a stinging defeat. And of course the Moors are causing some more trouble there. Okay, let's hope the Mongols will cause at least some troubles to the enemy. And here are the mines any good? We have some. And we have militia drill square here, which is excellent news. So I guess we can combine these two still. And let's leave the troops that require retraining. And I think we will take the more experienced troops with us and join the crusade.
Your orders, number one. Your orders, number one. Of course, my lord.
And perhaps we could actually recapture Zagreb along the way. And we can also... oh! We have a new general here. I think he can be stationed in Bologna. And I think we could use some new troops here as well. And in Ragusa we are retraining the troops. Oh, that's crossbow militia, and we have... and I think we will go to give Durazzo a new try. That kind of an army. And let's see the situation in here. I think we will be able to hold. And in Palermo. I think we will wait at least a bit more. So let's review the objectives for this time. So Cagliari has been recaptured, Palermo is under siege, and Bologna has been captured. So let's say the goals have been partially met, and of course we needed to defend all of our other territory. We lost Zagreb, but I think we should be able to recapture it rather soon. So in that regard, I say we met the targets partially well, or at least somewhat well. We have one new enemy, which is pretty far away from us. So the political situation is quite decently under control. Our capability of building new troops, I think, has increased somewhat more still. And let's actually increase it a bit more. And I think the integrity of our kingdom or dukedom or whatever Milan is has increased with the capture of Bologna. Now, of course, we need to defend Cagliari, and capturing Palermo and moving against the Sicilians in southern Italy, and of course against the Byzantines here in Balkans and Greece, and taking back Zagreb will solidify our empire even more. So at the moment we have 10 regions, we need to have 45 including Constantinople, so we need to push eastwards, at least at some point. So, thank you very much for watching. If you like the content, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to post comments, ask questions and give advice and so on. Have a great rest of the day. QualityOldGames out.